You all walk through the streets of the outskirts of the grotto, not as well kept as where you all were originally staying, as you had just entered in and were staying at the previous inn as well. Um, you can see that there are dips in the road itself. So in some spots, there actually is some flooding that's kind of happening. So having to divert or hop your way around kind of the muddied, watery paths. But it doesn't take you long before you reach the archways that are so distinctly separating each of the districts from each other. So close, but yet still so far. Finding yourselves within the graveyard district itself, which you can see is relatively small in terms of the amount of houses. There is a bar that is known to be in this area as well, which Rory, you would know about as well. That's been around since the cemetery started to be in use. So a very long time. It's definitely one of those dive bars, but a point of interest if you ever decide to stop in. But a lot of these homes that you're seeing that line the massive gated square, varying in size, some almost smushed together and barely a few feet across, while others are looming large townhomes of stone and iron. The centerpiece being the cemetery itself, enclosed behind homes and a massive gate and wall that separates the two, a boundary of life and death. The gate entrance, there are several, but the one you are coming in on is the main entrance. It is currently holding a small attendant, looks to be another one of the automatons that are in the area. Not like Rory. Again, very measured in its movements, robotic. On during the day and during the evening as part of the grave keepers who tend to this cemetery. Gravestones dot the green, some attached to the very backsides of homes, while others alone, stone pillars standing against the rain. On some of them, you note that there are what appears to be almost these grated cages over top of them, seemingly freshly placed, probably within the last couple of days. They're not on everyone. I would say probably every 2 or 3 rows of graves, you're seeing them on maybe a couple, 1 or 2, probably more of the fresher graves, I would say, as you are kind of milling about. A massive chapel sits within the very center of the cemetery, a large pillar of stone and ivy that looms over the cemetery. You can see that several windows are overlooking from the stone itself, along with several tents that have been placed just outside of the chapel. You all are making a beeline for the mausoleum, correct?
I think yes, but also moving carefully, just in case. Like, we only know about this mausoleum, but we don't really know about, like, if there's anything else afoot in the other, like, grave sites or whatever. So
Sure. If you
and then
go on.
I'm so sorry. I just wanted to can you repeat what you said? There's like fresh graves, and what's on top of the graves? Just flowers or something?
They're called mort staffs, which are basically
Mort
like these graded almost cages that are placed over a grave. Typically, a lot of the newer graves,
Mm-hmm.
they were used. They have a couple different names. So mort safe is usually the typical name for it. If you would like to roll a history check for Theodora, you're more than welcome to. Or an investigation check, I would also allow.
Wait, what is this to do?
It's just I'm describing what the kind of structure is. It's basically like this, almost looking like a cage over top of a grave. It's made of metal and iron.
Yeah. It just because I was asking for myself because I didn't understand what you had said.
Sure.
But Is this like, is it, so I Googled it. So is this anything different from what it is in real life?
No.
Like, is there another purpose for it? Okay.
No.
I was like, is this supposed to like keep people from like, if they like somebody like necromants, then they can't get out? Like,
Correct. Yes.
Like, or also it's like meant to like keep the graves from being disturbed or whatever. So
yes.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah. So for those of you that don't know, yes, that's exactly what Fair mentioned. That's the if you need to Google it. But it's to help deter any body snatchers or, hey, listen, Erudite Quarter is not far off. The School of Necromancy is not far off. College kids, necromantic powers may want to try and test out their magic. And look, there's a cemetery right there.
Yeah.
So this is
Or
to
like,
help
you know,
discourage that.
Stopping somebody from being Victor Frankenstein, not knowing how
Exactly.
fucking rotting bodies work.
Yep.
Moron. Anyway, that is a rant for another time.
Yes. So that's exactly it. Like I said, they're not on every single one. It's on seemingly the fresher. You can tell from, I would say, Deodora, from your passive perception, and really anyone's passive perception, that the grass and the dirt is more kicked up than the other ones that are more settled, even in the rain and the weather that you're experiencing.
I guess one thing I do want to look at these like fresh graves with these safes on them,
Sure.
is like well, I can't fucking read. I'll ask somebody else to do it.
Well, you can always check. There might be more than just regular words written. You don't know.
True. Yeah, I'll take a look just because I want to know, and I'll also ask like my companions to look too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just in case it's like, you know, because I don't read written words. But I just want to know if any names that we've been told are on any of these tombstones.
None. I
Like,
can answer for
none?
the party.
Okay.
None.
Okay, just wanting to know.
You do recognize some names, but they're not ones that are holding the mort staff. They look almost like family plots, if anything.
Mhm.
Not disturbed.
None of the family plots have been disturbed.
No. Because
Okay.
a lot of, at least in the area that you're in currently, is more of the working class.
Yeah.
You haven't run into nobility. Typically have the mausoleums and that kind of thing, but
Right. Okay.
the plots and stuff, no. Not disturbed, no dirt overturned. I mean, people have definitely been in here walking around, but whether that's to pay their respects or something else, it's a little bit harder to kind of tell. Looks like at least with... Sorry, I had the name and then I scrolled. So many NPCs. Yeah, that's... Never mind. I answered my own question. You're good. Sorry, I thought there was
Okay.
more, and then it was like, nope, that's Slater. That's a noble family. So I was mixing them up.
Okay. Then I guess I'll still moving cautiously. We'll make our way. Deodora will make her way towards the mausoleums.
Sure. Astani, what are you doing during this time?
I think they're following the Deodora.
Okay.
There's, the questions that they had were the same that I had.
Can you do a spirit check for me, please?
Ooh. A 19 plus 4?
Okay. 19 plus 4. With that, you can feel there's a lot of spiritual energy here. Both the veil is very much present, but you also get the sense of something else that's more similar to what you were experiencing with Aerie. Like, it feels almost like a shock goes through your system of something is off here in this area. Souls pass on. Sometimes they linger with their bodies for a little bit, but they usually move on, or they make their way over to the temple district where you can help guide them through the veil a little bit more easily. You were here pretty recently. A few days ago, before meeting up with the rest of your group. In fact, a couple of weeks ago. How long has it been since your partner went missing?
It's like I don't know, when you haven't spoken to your friend in a long time, it comes back and just, I think before the meeting, before then, it's almost now close to a year. It feels like, oh wow, has it already been this much? Is the thought that's hitting Osani. This was their friend, their other, like, as and I'm forgetting her name because they were hating on Ostani. In the same kind of situation as Ostani got moved up in rank, their friend had moved up in rank, even though they had no real allegiance to the lady or commitment.
Sure.
But the lady found them worthy for this role, and they left because they didn't believe it anymore. And so it was just like, wait, we believed in this together. We were students together. And now he's just gone. And so it hits them like, oh, it's been almost a year.
I think for a moment, as you're kind of processing that too, the footsteps of Theodora walking with Sparky shift, as does her silhouette slowly shifting to that of the partner that is no longer with you right now. Always walking ahead. They were always one to be quick to act, with Ostani being more contemplative first before diving in, assessing the situation. And that carrying through now.
A shudder. And I think Theodore could see this, just these eyes, they're just saying, oh, what am I stepping into? But Ostani still like follows them. It doesn't have to be said that everything that, like this, the veil, everything that is open here, like it's present. It's just, this is what we came here for. So they just keep walking forward.
And you continue forward. Rory, what are you doing during this time?
Using my class features, specifically the one that helps everybody get to places as quickly as possible, because they know like back ways, sideways, and alleyways, and all this other stuff to get from point A to point B. So I'm absolutely going to use that and keep an eye out for, something that looks either pointedly specific or unusual based on the things that Aries said.
Sure.
And, watching the party, but also keeping in mind the many things that both Blackstone has said to Rory and Theodore has said to Rory about, like trusting and believing in people and just like letting things happen as they do.
Love it. Eventually, all of you find yourselves over by a large structure that's seemingly outside of another kind of walled up portion of the cemetery itself. Circular. Looking to be probably between maybe 50 or 60 years old. It's not as old of a structure as a lot of the other ones are in this area. For those of you with a passive perception above a 14, looks like this was built later. So likely a crypt is buried is underneath, and then someone placed a mausoleum on top of it. Circular in structure, Gothic in style, reaching up towards the heavens, largely boarded up except for this one door, which has a window with a grate in it, which is looking inwards, but all you can see is darkness. The nameplate on the side of the mausoleum itself shows the same name that you saw in that vision, Rory Forsina. Clearly written. I would say for Astani, and we'll start with you. One thing that you're picking up with your spirit sense, and you're starting to maybe piece it together a little bit more. There's scarring in this area. That's been present all throughout the cemetery that you've been seeing. Scarring often happening when souls that may not want to necessarily move on or move to a specific area try to leech and hang on to wherever they're currently at before being pulled elsewhere. It's not very common. More often than not, and the way that you've been taught is to gently prod the soul to go in that direction, for them to choose for themselves. This looks like somebody made that choice for them. So you do see, it's almost like nail marks, claw marks in the dirt, in the stone. It's very subtle. Truthfully, Rory doesn't see this. Theodora doesn't see this. But because you have veil sight, you can see it ingratiated through. All of it leading towards this mausoleum. The very entrance, which at this moment looks locked. Rory, you are already keyed in that the name that's on this mausoleum is magicked. Somebody's hiding something here. Along with that, you would notice that there is a massive lock that does seem to be both magicked as well as some added extra security. It looks like a more complicated lock than you may be used to.
Okay, so the first thing I do is put on a somewhat large pair of indigo glasses. And use detect magic to see what magic is here in the first place.
Sure. And are you looking specifically at the lock, I would say, or are you looking at the surrounding area?
I'm going to start with the nameplate.
Gotcha. Yep. This looks like it's some kind of enchantment to, by chance, very similar to some pages of journals and otherwise show something else than what is actually written.
Okay.
That you can pick up immediately. With the lock, it seems like it's almost got a clock attached to it. So it seems like the lock could be freed, but then it might set off some kind of timer. What that is, it's a little bit harder to tell because the mausoleum itself seems to be radiating almost a dispel magic itself, preventing you from kind of going further in.
Okay. And what magic is there in the surrounding area?
Surrounding area, nothing. You maybe pick up on some of the scarring that I mentioned to Astani as well. But nothing that's been magic. There's no booby traps in the area. There's no traps. Just the lock. And the name.
Okay, now having looked at those, can I insight whether or not these magics are connected to each other in some way?
You can do, I guess, an Arcana check to see, I would say. Because I don't think you
Okay.
can necessarily insight the lock, but we can definitely do some kind of investigation to see if maybe they're linked.
Okay, that is a 27 on that Arcana check.
Okay. No, they are not linked. Seems like it's a puzzle slightly for the name and a puzzle slightly for the lock. But triggering one will not trigger the other.
And you said there's a dispelled magic coming off the mausoleum.
There's something that's perhaps preventing your magic from extending into the mausoleum itself, which is not uncommon with some older structures in terms of the build. It's kind of like Fey magic doesn't always do well with metal, for instance. It seems like it's a on a chemical level, the two things are just kind of canceling each other out and not allowing you to look further.
Oh, okay. So things that are just like common counters for things that scrying magic can't get through.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. I guess in that case, well, this is interesting. I suppose the work is upon us. Oh, sorry, I should probably be a little bit more descriptive than that. This is the nameplate that we're looking for. There are several layers of magic here. This one, pointing at the nameplate, this one just prevents people from reading the name that's actually here. This one, and they point at the lock, is a little bit more interesting in that upon unlocking this or what have you, depending on what we do, there is a timer associated to it.
A timer for what?
That part I do not know.
And you said
And
it
then-
depends on how we open it?
Yeah, it seems that whoever built this is a fan of puzzles. Oh, and then there's also this, and I just slapped the side of the mausoleum.
What up? Okay. Please
This
be
is
more.
just
Okay.
This is made out of a material that prevents scrying, so whatever magic you would use to try to divine what is in here does not penetrate the material. A very peculiar thing, I suppose, but not, I guess, not incredibly. I'm supposing someone would have to be at least somewhat rich or affluent, though, to build something that could prevent scrying magic from being used on it.
Oh, you're muted, Mots.
Stani just rolls their eyes at hearing that. Just okay.
Yeah, I think Deodora at the same also rolls her eyes. This is like fucking magic bullshit again. Okay.
I
Chop
suppose
off the
there's that, but-
spellcaster's hands.
And make
Well-
sure, what we have here is apparently someone spent a fair amount of money at some point in time to keep people out of their affairs. The extras here, though, are very extra, so I suppose we'll have to start with one thing at a time. And for that, and I pull out a piece of chalk, I'll need about 10 minutes.
Great. Then Ostani kind of motions over her face. I don't call the gifts the lady gives me magic, so they'll do a class feature for Eyes of the Grave.
Love it.
Um,
Yes.
And they're going to just look, focus mostly on the mausoleum really quickly, like their eyes just turn white, and, you know, Eyes of the Grave kind of vibe. And my brain completely lost it after the rich people. I was like, okay.
I'm still getting over the fact that Rory just slapped the side of a mausoleum. Like,
it's like, wait, hold on. They just heard undead in the morning. They want to know the location of any undead within 60 feet of them that isn't behind total cover. And they're just looking into the mausoleum to be like, what's in here that you're trying to hide?
So with that, you do see that the stairway kind of descends from the door down into a crypt, which is lined on either side with what looks to be small kind of drawers that pull out, but each have a distinct marker on them, notating a name. You also note a large kind of coffin in the very center of the room that has a stone etching of seemingly a person.
I'm sorry, seemingly what?
A person.
An undead person?
No, stone face. This is stone.
Okay.
I was getting to the other half because I'm wording it very specifically since you are picking up undead, but it seems like it's dormant right now.
Yeah.
That are seemingly lying in wait. When undead, I will ask this because I think it's a fun flavor question. When undead manifest with the spell that you're seeing, are you seeing a specific color? Is it a specific symbol you're seeing? Is it them that you're seeing? What does it look like as you see 5?
So Osani, and especially their cleric, the undead is like an insult to like the order.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it is, I think we'll go with like, if it is infrared, there are black spots that are moving around that shouldn't.
Sure.
You know, so it's just feels like the void almost, like where it's just, you're not supposed to be here.
And you pick up 5 of those signatures, but dormant.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Is something amiss? As I'm just like continuing to like write.
No, keep writing. That's
Felkian runes
over
around
3.
the
That's
nameplate.
over 3. Or that's 5. Great. No, keep writing.
Are you also making calculations?
Yes. Seeing them right before my eyes.
Fantastic. And what have you learned? As I continue to draw like a circle to like.
Mm-hmm. And
put all the
Osani's
roots
doing it in
together.
like more spirit, and their eyes are completely white. They're just like this while Rory's writing actual calculations, and they're just 5. Very quietly waiting to trap us. That is what I see.
Oh, well, I mean, we don't have to go in there.
We don't. We do, don't we? And then
Oh,
as
well,
soon
I
as they
mean-
do that, the eyes turn back to normal, huh?
At least
We're
not
going in there.
at least not unprepared. If we know that there are enemies
Oh.
lying in ambush, we need not walk into it as if we were
Yeah.
not aware.
Oh,
I mean,
of course. Yes.
They're lying in wait to ambush us, but they can't ambush
Ugh.
us because we know they're there.
Yes.
And I activate a dispel magic on the nameplate.
Okay. For a bit of flavor, can you roll a d20 along with that?
Sure. Just like a flat d20.
Yep. We'll do that. And if you want to add your spirit bonus to that, because this is essentially your will kind of overwriting the spell. I think for flavor, it makes it a little bit more interesting.
Oh, okay. So we're doing a spirit check. That spirit check was a 10.
Okay.
I'm gonna add an inspiration die.
Okay.
And that added a whole 11. That number's a 21 now.
That's exactly what you needed with that. So with that, you see the letters for Cena all starting to glow a vibrant black outlined with purple, and almost like ink slowly dripping off of the plaque itself onto the ground, meshing with the mud as the rain continues to fall around. A new name appears. Mair. M-A-I-R. And that is where we will take our break. So, we are going to take a break for about 10 minutes, y'all, while we stretch. Go ahead, get a snack, take your potions if you haven't done so yet today, and we will be back more with Ampistrano in just a few minutes. So, see you all shortly.